Enchanté.
Hello lovelies, I'm Angela and this is Parisienne Farmgirl. Bienvenue, welcome to the channel. Happy end of the month. We've had a really big week this week as a family. I invite you to visit the blog to read all about that part of the story. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna take a few minutes and answer some of your questions. Just sort of a month in review. Since the beginning of the year, I've been doing something a little different. I've posted a video every Friday and Monday with a corresponding blog post. Your response has been fantastic. I really appreciate all the views and the shares on social media, the thumbs up, all that stuff. And so I thought I would take a few minutes and answer some of the more popular questions that have come through in comments and DMs and emails. One of the questions I received on my conservatory video from, Monday, was a question about the steampunk contraptions that I was using. And they left a timestamp, thankfully. Thanks, Frank, for leaving a timestamp, because I was thinking, what in the world is he talking about? Frank and his wife are longtime viewers to the channel, super supportive of Parisienne Farmgirl. I really appreciate that. I could not imagine what reference was being made to steampunk. So I appreciate the timestamp, and now I get it. He was referencing the pulley system that I use for my grow lights. I bought them probably 4 years ago off of Amazon, and they've been really, really helpful. I was using a big Costco baker's rack, and so I could attach them to every row of the baker's rack, and you can adjust them so you can bring them nice down close to the plants when they're, when they're just coming through, and you can raise them as the plant grows. I love them. I don't necessarily like dragging them out every year and installing them, and usually, as you saw in the video, I get a kiddo to help me because it's a little tedious for me. I suppose I can paint Monet tiles. I don't mind that tedious, but darn, hooking up those pulleys makes me crazy. So I always ask for help, but they're really helpful, really useful. And I do recommend them if you have seedlings and need a convenient way to hang your grow lights. Your feedback on me wearing my hair like big and crazy is great. It's a little bit longer. It is growing out. I'm trying to decide. I get it cut about every 4 months. So I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna cut it short again. I love it short, but it's been a few years, and so I am enjoying it long. And so thank you for that compliment about the hair. And this same comment had a question about the sunglasses that I was wearing in my video. These are probably really dirty. I have a few pairs of these. They sell them in town, but I've seen them other places, and the brand is Goodr. So Goodr, Goodrs. They're really cute. They're not prescription, but they make everything really, really clear. And I like the coloring. I always wear sunglasses when I'm outside so that I don't squint and make wrinkles. I always have. I like these a lot. They're really, they're kind of glamorous meets casual, and they come in so many colors. The next ones I want to get are bright green, and they have a really pretty tortoise shell. Right now I have a couple navy blue, of course, and black. Of course, not all comments are kind, and I did stumble across a comment where someone said, "My goodness, Angela, I hope you don't read all of these because some of them are just rude." I don't read all of the comments. I try to, when the video first publishes, that's my sort of active day. Those first 24 hours, especially even the first 3 hours when a video publishes, are really important to if YouTube is going to promote that video. So I've been trying to publish every Friday and Monday at 10 a.m. so my audience can come to expect that. And that's sort of when I monitor those comments. And then I do have someone help me because it's really important to me what I take in. The negative comments don't matter, but I am human. I do have feelings, and sometimes they get under my skin, especially when they're stupid, like the comment about my son's hair in a recent video. So I just want to address that because a lot of people have asked me over the years, why don't you brush your son's hair? Clearly, I brush my son's hair. So there's two ways that you can look at it. I know it's like perceived as gross, I suppose, to see a little kid with ratty hair. My feeling as a mom who is a YouTuber and whose children are occasionally on camera is that it's equally, if not more gross, for me to prep my kids for the camera. If I say to them, you know, go change your clothes so we look a certain way, oh, let mama brush your hair before I turn the camera on, I think that's gross. They're not asking to be on camera. It's not their channel. I have no desire to make them feel like they're performing. So my little guy, you can brush his hair and 5 minutes later, he's got that rat's nest in the back. You can look back at all my videos. It's always there. It's a constant struggle. We like his hair long, he likes his hair long. It was really long in that video, it's shorter now. But yeah, my feeling as a mom is that if I tell my kids to look a certain way or behave a certain way, I think that's more gross, that's more disturbing than maybe them appearing imperfect on screen. So that's my take on it. When the rude comments come through, I find what my kids call fan rage hysterical. When some of you jump out on there and have my back, that is very amusing to me. But no, I don't see most of the comments. I see them initially as I'm monitoring the video and just sort of gauging how it's going to do. And then it's really important for me just creatively to detach. YouTube is not like a source of self-esteem for me. YouTube is a business tool. It's a creative outlet. Like, I'm really comfortable not being for everyone. I don't have to be for everyone. If you like the channel, if you like the content, if you like me, whatever, wonderful. That's great. And if you don't, you can go like someone else. That's okay. So I think I just touched on about 3 questions that have come through there. I did get a question that's on an old video. I did notice it came through because I was checking a back office thing that you can check on YouTube, and it said, why homeschool, just curious. And I'm thinking, it's 2024. Are we really having the why homeschool conversation? That's so 20 years ago at this point. So, so yeah, why homeschool? I don't know, you tell me. I printed these questions here. So, kudos for you for painting the tile with the tremors in your hands. It can't be easy. Here's the story behind the tremors. Filming days are really busy. So like I get presentable, the house gets slightly presentable, you know, food, homeschool, all the things. And then it's not like I have extra time for filming, so I work it in. Because of that, I end up slamming coffee all morning and not eating enough food. It happens every time that I film, and I love coffee. I like caffeine, and it affects my hands so much, especially my left one in particular. If you listen to the podcast, you know that I do have chronic reactivated Epstein-Barr syndrome. So tremors are a symptom of that, and that's about my only remaining symptom, but it's definitely exacerbated by caffeine. When I wake up in the morning, I don't have the tremor. Come 3 in the afternoon, I don't have the tremor. It's just those hours between like 10 and 1 where I've been drinking a lot of coffee. So no worries, I know a lot of you are worried. I've received the messages, I've received emails. The shake is 95% caffeine induced, and I do it to myself. Another question was, where can I buy, I'm gonna read this because I want to say it just right. Where can I buy French written black and white Crocs with lids smaller from my bathroom counter? Very specific, 6 to 8 inches tall with a circumference that big, under $30. I'm trying to think about what this viewer is referencing. I think based on the video that this comment was in, I think she's referencing those Crocs that you see in my kitchen and in my wine pantry. So most of those I bought from my mom, and most of those that you find online are not going to be $30. Usually they're more expensive. In the case of where my mom is sourcing them, she has a picker in England, and all of those types of pieces including some of the old tile that you've seen around my house that I use as trivets. Those types of things, especially, well, I should just speak for her source. Those are actually out of Victorian burn piles in England. They are unearthed out of the ground. And so that's why they're more expensive, because when they are unearthed and they're intact, that's pretty miraculous. I know the inventory is becoming less and less and less because they've been extremely popular on websites like Etsy and things over the past few years. I think they're, what does she call them? Advertising crocks, advertising pots. But typically they are more than $30 because of how rare they are and the effort that goes into digging them out of the tips in England. So you can find reproduction ones, but I'm assuming that is what she is referencing in this comment. Another question, and maybe you can hear them because I'm in my room right now. A lot of times I'll film like in this corner of my room or down in the conservatory during the day for the intros and outros to my videos, because this is, you know, we have this envelope house. This is where the most light is, and the rest of the house can be really dark, and I hate setting up artificial lighting for filming. It's such a buzzkill for me. I do not enjoy that. I'd rather film in the daylight. So one of the drawbacks to that is I have my sweet parakeets in the conservatory, and when I talk, they get excited and they start talking. So one of the questions, and I've received this question a lot, is do I ever let my birds out? I would love to let my birds out. They're so sweet. Sometimes they get out. Here's the problem, and if you have birds, you probably know the answer to this question. We have giant windows and they fly right into the windows. So it's dangerous for them to be out. I just, for their sake and just the dreamy romanticness of it, I'd love to close off my conservatory, just close all the French doors and let them out for a few hours a day and let them perch on the branches and everything like that. That sounds really magical and wonderful, but they run into the windows. I've done it before and they get hurt. So it's better for them. They have their nice big bird cage and they seem very happy. They love us. And so no, for their sake, I don't let the birds out. Okay, a few questions about the tile. So some of you are telling me I'm doing it wrong. That camp is split. There are two ideas, two schools of thought on laying tile on if you should butter the back or not. Typically, from everything that I've read, and I consulted a lot of especially European websites on how to lay terracotta. I'm not just winging it. My husband and I have been in the trades for 3 decades, so there's a lot of thought and research and knowledge that goes into what we do. Nothing I read said anything about buttering the back of these tiles. Typically, my understanding is that you butter the back of larger tiles, or when you have a terracotta tile that is more concave, clearly you want to butter the back of that and really help with the suction. I am not buttering the back of my tiles. They're in the mortar. I have kicked them as hard as I can. There's no grout yet down. They're not going anywhere, but there's definitely two schools of thought. So before you tell me that I'm doing it, I mean, you can tell me I'm doing it wrong, I don't care. But there's 2 ways of laying terracotta. Some people choose to butter the backs, others don't. If you are laying bigger tile, I would butter the back for sure. And if you're laying anything that has any sort of curve, any sort of concavity, if that's a word, I would go ahead and butter the back as well. Also, people have been curious on how we are going to seal the tile. I think I did mention that in a recent video, and there'll be a lot more tile content coming up. But we have landed, if you get my newsletter, you know this, I gave you a link. We've landed on a product by Green Builders Supply called MAKEOVER, and we are using the semi-gloss. I really, really like this product. I did a sample of it, as you saw on some tile a few weeks ago. I like how it held up. Someone commented to try staining it with turmeric. Excellent idea. I had that thought while I was getting all my stuff out. I thought, ooh, that's some pretty nasty business. I should try that, but I didn't. But so far it's repelled everything. So it's MAKEOVER by Green Builder Supply, and you've probably seen us use products from Green Builder Supply in previous videos. It is what we coated the back of our faux brick in the conservatory with, and we did that as a sealer to help with off-gassing from that, what is it, MDF, is that what that stuff is made of? You know, it's an artificial product and there is going to be off-gassing, so we sealed the backs of those boards before we put them up. I don't remember the product that we used to do that. Green Builder Supply has tons of sealers that have little to zero VOCs. I will be doing a grout sealer also from Green Builder Supply. I talked with them on the phone the other day and just was really just like throwing them a ton of questions. I want to do this in a way that's going to hold up for a long time. And they suggested using a small paintbrush and painting on the grout sealer, which sounds really horrible, but you know I'm gonna end up doing it because I wanna go the extra mile with this project. In other news, I have great news. I have enough Monet tile done, finally, to do above the range. I'm so happy. It took months. I've really shifted it into high gear the last few months painting this tile. I've been tinkering with it for about a year, but I would say most of my progress has been made in the last 60 days, just grabbing a few hours there, grabbing a few hours here, and it's all been baked in the oven and it is ready to go up. I'm thrilled. What I'm going to do, you know, I have that door over the range. I found the same brand makes a chair rail and it's beveled, and the bevel matches the shape of our faux fireplace. So I think that's going to really complement, and I'm going to actually line the door. So the silly little door that we found in our garage when we moved in that I popped on top of that project and is still there 5 years later is going to be tiled. It's going to look sweet. I have two beautiful antique Delft tile that were also dug out of the tips in England, and I'm going to put them on the front of it. And so we'll have something actually authentic and old as a part of the project. That video is going to be coming up in the upcoming weeks. I can't wait to share it with you. It's going to feel really good to have an idea come to partial fruition. Now the full idea is that I go ahead and wrap most of the kitchen with this tile. Again, you've heard me say it. That's going to take the better part of a year. About 6 weeks from today, I'll be back at Monet's house. I can't wait to be in that space and just stand there and take it in and get that motivation and that encouragement again to keep going with this idea. There were some questions on how we are going to keep and or make sure that the terracotta flooring is level. What we did was we did just a meticulous job with the hardy board that we put down. Joel put that down. He did put down extra screws and then sealed it all together. You probably saw him sealing those joints together in a video. The fact is they're not going to all be level, and that is, I know it's different for some people. I don't care about that if they're slightly off. Old floors are slightly off, so I am really striving for an authentic old French farmhouse look. I know that is not practical for everyone. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea to have a tile here and there that's higher than the others. The floor is level. Every once in a while, I notice when I'm laying the tile that one is a little bit higher than the other. They're all handmade. They're all a little different, which is definitely affecting my layout. I started with spacers. I gave up on spacers. That's just not even worth it. So I'm eyeballing it. Every once in a while, I notice one's a little bit higher than the other. And what I'm doing just to sort of, what I'm doing to address that is if I grab that and I'm in a main traffic flow, then I take my putty knife and just pop that one out, wash it off and set it aside for something that's not in a main traffic flow. Obviously, I don't want people stubbing their toes or having it be an inconvenience for walking. But on the whole, I'm resigned to the fact that this floor is going to be very imperfect and very imperfectly beautiful. Last but not least, I have been asked about my oil paintings. It's very, very kind of you. Some of you have asked if you can purchase them. I think if I end up selling my artwork. I will probably do that later this spring. I have amassed quite a stack of works that I've done. I really like them. I don't know which ones I want to part with yet. Pretty soon, possibly in my next video, I'm going to do a come paint with me so you can watch that process. I'm really, really flattered that some of you would like to buy my art. I mean, that is something I would love to do more of in the future. And if 4 years from now, 5 years from now, I was painting and selling art, that would be great. That sounds very peaceful and very beautiful to me. So thank you for your compliments. Thank you for your interest in purchasing art. And I will definitely let you know if we decide to have our very first art sale. One of the best ways that you could find out about something like that or what we're doing is make sure that you're part of my newsletter list. So you can do that. I'm going to put a link in this video description. Every Friday I send a newsletter that complements the YouTube video, that complements everything we've been doing for the last few days. And every Monday I send a newsletter. And I try to make it valuable and have some interesting tips and ideas in there for you. And so I would love for you to be a part of my newsletter list. That way I can always stay in touch with you. You know, social media is really volatile. I've had my Instagram account hacked before. I've seen YouTubers lose their account. Those emails for people like me that are in social media, being able to correspond with our people directly via email is really, really important. So I want to make it valuable to you. And you know, if there's something that's not interesting to you, don't read that one. The next one will be interesting, I promise. And it will always have the links to the blog and to the Old World Design Society and to anything that maybe you're following or want to keep tabs on, like potential upcoming art sales. So definitely make sure that you are on my subscriber list. It's a free newsletter and I would love to have you there. Okay, as I said, have had a big week. And again, go check out the blog or read your newsletters, see what's kind of going on. I don't really want to unpack it right here. This is the video I wanted to bring to you at the end of the month, just to sort of wrap up the month, to say thank you for watching. Lots of nice feedback about the videos this year. I appreciate it. Like I said, every Friday, every Monday at 10. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for your comments and shares. And I will see you all again on Monday, which is very soon. A bientôt.